Manchester United are without Harry Maguire. They don't have Tyrell Malacia, Lindero, Rafael Varane, Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, and Anton Martial. All those players are totally out. Lisandro Martinez, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, all those will obviously have to face a late fitness test to see whether they can obviously get into the mix. But Erik ten Hag has confirmed that Lisandro Martinez is one of those players that can come in through and obviously get the job done at the Stadium of Old Trafford when you're playing against Newcastle. Then when you go to the side of Newcastle, Fabian Schär, Matt Targett, Lewis Millie, Joe Willock, Jamal Lascelles, Steve Bootman, Sandro Tinali, who is banned, all those are out. But they are blessed with the coming back of Harvey Barnes, Miguel Almiron, and Joe Wellington. That is it. That's what is really happening down at the Stadium of Newcastle at their training ground. So welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where you're watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now that takes us on how the predicted starting 11 of Man United is supposed to be, according to me. And we thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. So the Muslims, may Allah also bless you abundantly to the fullest. So the system is a 4-2-3-1, right? And Man United is expected to be having Andre Onana in goal, right? Andre Onana in goal. Right back, I expect to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka to come through and do that job very well for this game. Left back, I expect Diego Diallo to play as the left back. Central defense, I think having gone ahead to play some minutes against Arsenal, that is Willy Kambuala. I expect to see him on the right side of the central defense, that is Willy Kambuala. And I also expect the man himself, called John Evans, to be played onto the left side of the central defense. That is the back four for the side of Manchester United. Then we go to the midfield. I anticipate that when Kambuala and Evans are playing the central defense, that means Casemiro, who has always gone ahead to be played in that position, will have to obviously pull up into the central midfield to play in a double pivot alongside Kobbie Mainoo. I know it's really very shocking because Amrabat had a very good game, but you just have to look and weigh in and see what the manager is always going to have to be doing when he's having all these players. I don't think that he's going to come up and really give Amrabat a go ahead of Casemiro, but he can only change, especially if at all Bruno Fernandes is not really available. He can come out and say Amrabat and Casemiro double pivot, and then Kobbie Mainoo to play ahead of them as a central attacking midfielder. All else, he can bench. He won't bench Kobbie Mainoo. That is it. Then ahead of them, the captain, who has been training for the past 1.5 weeks, that is Bruno Fernandes. If he's really totally healed with his hand, I know the manager will bring him on. But if the hand is not at all healed, Bruno won't show up. He won't show up. But I think we played very well. All we need to see to it that the likes of Mason Mount can obviously come in through and really try to fight for that position, especially if at all they are available. But if Bruno is not available, I know the manager might obviously put there Kobbie Mainoo, all else bring in Scott McTominay to play into that position. On the right attacking side of the midfield, we'll be having Amali Diallo. I anticipate he will start. In the press that the manager is going to hit to do today, he has come out and really hinted on how the guy, Bruno Fernandes, so on how Amadi Diallo is okay. So I'm not going to hate to see him coming out and be telling us that the guy is not going to be available. The guy is going to be available. But you never know what is going to hate to happen in the training sessions today. If it's bad, then he won't show up. Then on the left, we are having Alejandro Garnacho. That is it. However much Rashford is pushing all running against the clock to see to it that he comes in through to the needful, I anticipate that Garnacho will start. Even if Marcus Rashford makes it on the bench, I see Alejandro Garnacho starting in that position there. Leading the line, obviously, it's none other than Rasmus Hojlund, right? It's none other than Rasmus Hojlund who is going to be leading the line for the side of Manchester United. So that is my probable starting 11 for the club of Man United as we get into this game of football. Now, when you look at that 11 and you compare it with that of Newcastle, where they might be having the following players to obviously show up into their central defense: Kylian Trippier, Ban, Hal, Cruyff, and that is the back four. Hal is the left back, Trippier right back, Cruyff and Ban in the central defense, because they're not having Steve Bootman and Fabian Schär. Then Anderson, Guimaraes and Longstaff in the midfield three, and Almiron, Ishak and Gordon. I think if they're not having their two central defense, the pair, that is Bootman and Fabian Schär, it gives us a go to them. That is it. And I think we can easily open them. But it depends on how we are going to consolidate that midfield of Bruno Guimaraes, because Guimaraes covers huge distance and Longstaff also covers huge distance. If we really put in effort like we played against Arsenal, I tell you, this team can obviously find itself grabbing a win off the side of Newcastle. So, for us as United, we should look so much onto Anthony Gordon and Alexander Isak plus Bruno Guimaraes. Those are the three players that obviously can cause havoc to us. And the other player is Kylian Trippier on how he delivers those set pieces, because I think he's one of the most people that I'm gonna hate obviously make the most number of assists in the Premier League. That is Kylian Trippier, and he has 10 assists. Do you know what it means when a right back has 10 assists? You obviously know what it means, and it puts him into those levels that he can obviously get himself up and running. So that's what we should do. We should obviously block the supply of Anthony Gordon to Alexander Isak and see how things will obviously pan out. Even Miguel Almiron is a little bit deadly, but I think those two are really more deadlier than him. Not so? So, thank you very much for obviously that, and that is the probable starting 11. But as we go into this game of football, there are certain things you should be having at your fingertips. That Newcastle is having 57 points and Man United is having 54. We lose to them, I tell you, even UEFA Europa League football will be in the limbo, because Chelsea is going to be playing also tomorrow, and if at all they win, they'll be 6 points ahead of Man United. So, yet you are left with one game. So, to have a chance of us going ahead of Newcastle and Chelsea, we have to win our remaining two games, because you don't know what will happen when Newcastle is playing their last game away at Brentford, and I think Chelsea will be playing, is it Bournemouth? One of those away from home. So, you never know what's going to happen. So, all we have to do is, let's see how Man United plays against Newcastle. And remember, if there is a team we are tussling it out with, it's Newcastle. Win our games and put ourselves in a position of really getting in 60 points. Remember, our worst performance here was all about 58 points, and we should really do the needful there. Now, let's get into the head-to-head stats here. Man United have lost just one of their 28 Premier League home games against Newcastle. 18 and 9 draws, going down 1 December in 2013 under David Moyes. So we've just lost one, in 28 Premier League games. Arsenal came here, we had lost one in 16, but I think we can obviously go ahead and really beat Newcastle because they're also having injuries. Newcastle have won each of their last 3 meetings with Manchester United in all competitions, as many as in their previous 21 beforehand. The last English team to win 4 in a row against the Red Devils were Manchester City, between 2013 and 2014. You get? Between 2013 and 2014. Thirdly, Newcastle have already beaten Man United twice in all competitions this season, including a 3-0 win at Old Trafford in the EFL Cup. The last team to win 3 games against United in a campaign where Chelsea 2012-2013 with their Blues, while the Blues were also the last team to beat them twice away from home in the season of 2004-2005. So, we all know that they beat us in the FL Cup, they beat us at their stadium, and now they are coming to Old Trafford again. Can they really get a third win in a season and a double in the Premier League? We wait and see. Manchester United have only lost their final home league game in one of the last 16 seasons. 11 wins, 4 draws, going down 2 against Cardiff in 2018-2019. So that is Man United for you. And having only won one of their first 10 away league games this season, Newcastle have since won 4 of their last 7 on the road. The Magpies are looking to win back-to-back away league games for just a second time in 2003, 2004, also in January/February. That's what you're getting in from the people responsible for these stats. And now, this takes us to really something important. And what is important? My prediction, 2-1 win for the club of Man United. That is it. I don't think Newcastle will beat us. I think we are going to beat them because at least we are really having players returning. When you look at that predicted starting 11, it can really haunt them because when you're playing against Arsenal, we lacked a little bit of experience. You get? But if we can really do the ball retention like we did when you're playing against Arsenal, I think it puts Man United in a better position to obviously hurt any opponent that they are going to be really facing. So I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. Rokan David is my name, but as usual, the first goal is always very important. We shouldn't be the ones trailing behind first. We should make them trail behind until they open up and we hit them again. This is going to hit to become a song. Manchester United not creating chances for their number 9s. And you saw a story that came out that was like ridiculing Rasmus Hojlund as to why the players don't want to pass to him. And I ask, which kind of player is that? So Bruno doesn't want to pass to this guy. It's intention, right? I don't believe that, because for any manager, he would like his number 9 to be fed in. And I think it's high time they did the needful, because out of the 14 goals he has, 8 in the league, 5 in the Champions League, and 1 in the FA Cup, I think there are only 3 or 4 goals that have gone ahead to be created to him by his fellow players. Most of those have been secondary balls that has gone ahead to fight for and obviously scored them. That is it. They've been gifts, and he has gone ahead to really show you that he can kill off gifts. Now, if he can kill off gifts, then why don't you get him clear-cut chances? I've seen people slate him for the sleep up when he was really shooting at goal when you're playing against Arsenal at the beginning of the first half, and it's like, what best describes him? It's not what best describes him, you know? What best describes him is he's a striker who went ahead to get in all those goals without getting service. Now, how many can he score when he gets service? And it has been living on and on and on at the club of Man United. The other point is Amad Diallo, the player I've gone ahead to love, and I would love to see him start his second consecutive game under Erik ten Hag. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I sign out. See you later. And maybe in 1 or 2 hours from now, we'll be back talking Manchester United. Bye-bye.